this video, we will be doing Kendrick Lamar just started a war, and if you want to help this channel and the content that we making, please help support our merchandise. The link is in the description. If you didn't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Try and get the channel to grow, and the only way we're going to do this if you like, share, and comment on the content. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's go. Chi, get the yayo.
Get the yayo.
With the comparisons, just 2 hours ago, Metro Boomin and Future released an album called We Don't Trust You. And honestly, I was gonna wait to listen to it, but Twitter made it clear I needed to listen to it now. More specifically because of the track Like That, which features an
the track Like That. I didn't know it was off the album. I didn't know they had dropped a whole album, but it's nice to know they dropped a whole album. But what better way to get promotion for your album than to have Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole?
It's crazy.
And then people were saying that Future was beefing with Drake, and I was thinking, maybe they reaching. But now that I think about it, if you had that song on your album, and people saying part of the song was about you dissing Drake, we listened to that part yesterday.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was something with a female. We know when it's people on their stature, most of the time they beefing over ladies or money. It seemed like this one right
exactly
here was females.
It sounded like some females.
Yeah. So this is crazy. This is getting interesting. 2024 is gonna be heating up. We've seen a lot of female beef. We ain't seen no guy beef this year, but now it's the guys that's on it, and we here for it.
Yeah, and it's the guys that's outside.
Yeah, facts.
Everybody got their eyes on these.
Yeah.
Uncredited Kendrick Lamar, and he basically unleashes war. For the last 2 months, I've been trying to figure out how are Metro Boomin and Drake really gonna beef? How does a producer rapper beef work? And he enlisted Kendrick Lamar, which to me came out of nowhere because we haven't heard much from Kendrick Lamar since the release of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. But hey, I'm not complaining, and let's just get into it. Basically,
first person shooter, I hope they came with 3 switches.
Not gonna lie, when I heard that bar, I was like, maybe this is just a bit coincidental. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Then my guy Kendrick doubled down.
Fuck the big 3, nigga. It's just big me, nigga.
And honestly, this to me is crazy. For as long as I've been a hip hop.
Yo, no, it's lit. It's just big me. I thought it was.
Fan, it seems like the conversation of the big 3 has been around, and for the most part, people already picked their camps. You're either team Drake, Kendrick, or J. Cole. And this may seem like it came out of nowhere, but I guess it makes sense if you really think about it.
Niggas so thirsty to put me in beef, dissecting my words and start looking too deep.
From Kendrick's point of view, it might legitimately look like Drake and J. Cole are forming a super team.
Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey or me?
But if I'm gonna be honest, it seems like J. Cole is kind of just the middle child once again, because as far as I can tell,
how you use this song in the middle child.
Yeah, and people were saying that, like everybody was like, "Yo, this is really between Drake and Kendrick," because Drake went on tour. He did take Kendrick with him, so Kendrick felt a little tight way about that, and it was like, "Yo, J. Cole just catching strays because he's
straight bullets. He's just guilty by association right now."
Facts.
It seems like J. Cole is kind of just the middle child once again, because as far as I can tell, no direct diss is towards J. Cole. It's just kind of collateral damage, but on the other hand, Drake does get targeted.
All your dogs getting buried. That's a K with all these 9s. He gon' see Pet Cemetery.
Dog, that shit was fire. Now obviously the discrepancy for all the dogs.
Like he said, that was fire.
Yeah, that
crazy. He came out with the flamethrower on him.
That was hard. That was a bar.
Yeah, it was.
Does get targeted.
All your dogs getting buried. That's a K with all these 9s. He gon' see Pet Cemetery.
Dog, that shit was fire. Now obviously this referencing for all the dogs, which came out a couple months ago and will forever be known as a track that tied Drake with Michael Jackson, and something that made a lot of people say that Drake was undoubtedly the GOAT now. I mean, tying with Michael Jackson, nobody else can do that. But Kendrick Lamar already cooked up a response for that too.
Prince outlived
By aligning himself with Prince, Kendrick Lamar is kind of discrediting everything Drake has done on the record side of things. Mostly because whenever you have
run that bar back. Prince outlived Mike Jack. That was a bar.
Pick up a response for that too.
Prince outlived Mike Jack.
By aligning himself with Prince, Kendrick Lamar is kind of discrediting everything Drake has done on the record side of things. Mostly because whenever you have the discussion of Michael Jackson and Prince, most people are going to say that Michael Jackson sold more records but Prince was better. At least if they believe that Prince was better. Which is why at the beginning of the verse, Kendrick Lamar says, say it's a lot of goofies with a check. Honestly, this shit is like a thesis statement. He saw the counter arguments that people were gonna have and he dismounted the conversations before they even happened. Still though, I feel like I need to rewind at least a little bit because it does seem like it came kind of out of nowhere. At least if you weren't paying attention. But at least for the purposes of this video, we're not gonna go all the way back. I assume you know Kendrick Lamar and Drake. So it's 2022 and Kendrick Lamar returns to hip hop. It's been 5 years since the last Kendrick Lamar record, by the way, based on his family ties verse.
Smoking on your top 5 tonight.
However, when the album came,
Smoking on your top 5 tonight, we rolled them up. It's going down.
It's crazy out here.
On your top 5 tonight.
However, when the album came, surprisingly, the record was mostly about mental health, which was cool, and I do think the album was good. But that whole smoking on top 5 energy went out the window. In fact, the only
Yo, he's snapping with this.
Yo, he's funny. He's like, yo, I was vibing. You know what I mean? Top 5 energy. Then I played the album. It was about mental health. He said that went right out the window. Crazy.
was good, but that whole smoking on top 5 energy went out the window. In fact, the only mention of Drake throughout the record was Kendrick Lamar saying that he was confused as to why he made up with Kanye.
When Kanye got back with Drake, I was slightly confused.
Like, I don't know, that's not even a diss for real. In fact, in terms of disses, most fans have had to reach.
They had to reach.
So this is Sticky by Drake. It was released on the infamous Honestly Nevermind record. An album that everybody hated, but I think it's decent. I don't hate it as much, but a lot of people do. Which makes a lot of people think that this song
Messy, get them girls off the stage, cause somebody
was Kendrick showing that he could do the same thing that Drake was doing, but make it better. Me personally, I think it's a stretch, because when it comes to dissing each other, Kendrick and Drake have never been subtle about it. They may not drop a name, but you definitely know who they're dissing. In fact, if you want an example of what a real diss looks like between these two, then Drake's got you covered.
I don't know about these guys that go away 3, 4, 5 years, want to chill out, all that shit. That's not me.
Obviously, this is a reference to Kendrick Lamar and the whole 1,855 days in between Mr.
I think I'm gonna start cutting carbs.
That
I need to
me.
drop
I'm
my
dropping
belly
every
fat.
summer, you feel me? 11 straight summers.
You want to drop this?
Summers.
Morale and Damn, compared to Drake, who has released like 7 albums this decade. It's honestly crazy, man. Shout out to Drake for that. But of course, Drake should have known better than to know that someone like Kendrick wasn't gonna let that slide. Or maybe he really believed that Kendrick Lamar wouldn't say nothing about it because of that Mr. Morale album and how much that was about growth and healing. However, as we now know, that was not the case. And you gotta wonder how much Metro Boomin played a part in all this, because for those who don't know, Metro Boomin and Drake have been beefing for a while now. Obviously not for the extended amount of time that Drake and Kendrick Lamar have been beefing, but this beef goes back at least a couple of years, as Drake was originally set to be on Heroes and Villains, but got taken off for whatever reason. However, the track ended up leaking online, which leads a lot of people to believe that Drake himself leaked the song. Drake has done this before with Life of the Party when Kanye dissed him. The beef was something that people speculated on, but it definitely became clear once Metro Boomin started speaking out against Her Loss, winning Rap Album of the Years, and the hate got solidified once Drake poked fun at Metro Boomin. So how would somebody like Metro Boomin respond? How about by getting one of Drake's biggest threats and having Kendrick directly diss him? Which again is a big deal because Kendrick Lamar doesn't do disses like this. Not anymore. And even Drake hasn't dissed Kendrick Lamar like this in a long time. At least,
I don't know if you remember, a long time ago, probably at this time, for like 10 years ago, Kendrick made a song where he dissed like all the rappers. Sort of like something like this, where this was just more directly at Drake, but when he did this, it reminded me of that song when he went through, he dissed Meek Mills, he dissed everybody in the song. Do you remember that song? He bodied it, and this reminded me of that. So Kendrick is known to throw his shots out there.
Yeah, but Kendrick is he like the rapper that keep to himself, but if you awaken him, he's coming.
Yeah. He coming out roaring. Facts.
it's like this. Not anymore. And even Drake hasn't dissed Kendrick Lamar like this in a long time, at least not on record. So I'm predicting that Kendrick Lamar has just unleashed war. Of course, I don't believe that Drake will respond with a full-on diss track, at least not yet. And definitely not without an album.
He don't want that
but there will
smoke.
definitely be a reply
alleyway.
sometime soon. It just depends on what album is next to release and whether that artist is featuring Drake. However, I think lost in all of this is J. Cole. Listen, J. Cole is about to set the world on fire when the Fall Off drops. I remember a couple weeks ago I made a video about how the Fall Off can determine the rankings on the big three, and I think Kendrick Lamar opened the door for that to become a reality. Because when it comes to Kendrick Lamar and the big three as a whole, it feels like J. Cole has been the most passive of the three. He never fails to praise Kendrick Lamar or praise Drake, and he goes as far as to acknowledge that most people have even forgotten of him in the conversation. It will be interesting to see how J. Cole replies. J. Cole has never really done a diss track. Sure, there's False Prophets, more notably there's 1985, but those aren't really diss tracks. Or maybe he'll see it as not that big of a deal, because it is kind of technically what J. Cole said on First Person Shooter when he was like, I feel like Muhammad Ali, or in other words, I feel like the GOAT. But regardless, I want to give a big shout out to Metro Boomin, to Future, and to Kendrick Lamar, because I haven't been this excited for hip hop in a long time. I feel like it's been probably like a year since something like this has happened. Probably more now that I really think about it. I think the last really event of hip hop was when Heroes and Villains released. And that was towards the end of 2022. So, hey, I'm down for it. Because reuniting the big three for one more run might be the most legendary thing Kendrick Lamar has ever done. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just like excited for what hip hop could be. Maybe this is the surgical summer that we never got.
Straight TV.
Anyways, I finished doing a video like 2 hours ago.
Lamar Wilson here, representing Ghetto Action News Network _ all lower cases.
No spaces.
You find us on Facebook. When you do, follow the page, like the page, share something, and come back. Alright, I'm gonna get right into this. This is crazy what's going on right now. This is titled Kendrick Lamar Just Started a War, and I totally agree. He came out firing like Rambo back in the day, like not playing, and he's so indirectly direct that it's dope. Like, you know who we talking to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's wild to see, because these three guys all have brought so much to the game.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? But it's at that point where it's like, pick a side.
Yeah.
Show your allegiance. Where is it? Where does your allegiance lie? And I think this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think it's good for hip hop. I think it's good for the culture. What you think?
I think it's definitely good for hip hop. I think it's definitely good for the culture. We were just talking like a couple of days ago how we were saying like in 2024, we've been covering all the beefs with all been female rapper beef or been white country rap beef. We was like, what's going on with hip hop? And finally, this is shot fired in hip hop. We was glad to see it, because hip hop been like a little stale place, just heating things up, getting the conversation started once again. Who's the best? Did you hear Kendrick verse? Did you hear that song? Everyone's talking about it, and there's a buzz back in hip hop that's been missing for a while. So I was glad that it's back. I can't wait to see the people respond, because you have to respond, because he was killing stuff, and I'm glad that he did what he did. He got stuff in motion. Everybody's being too friendly with each other right now. I feel like we here for the smoke, and I'm glad he got some smoke. Want all the smoke. Shout out to them. Can't wait to see what comes from this. But until then, it's your boy Trey TV, and I'm out.